Hello, good afternoon. My name is Diogenes, and I am the coordinator for the Solin English and other languages. Today we are going to have our fourth lecture, which is going to be delivered by Daniella Corcioli. Daniela is from the University of Tocantins, and she's going to be talking about language performativity and teacher formation. Her lecture is going to be moderated by Laís Lobo. Laís is a former student of mine, and she's also responsible for the technical part of this project. Without Laís, I don't know what I could have done. Okay, so thank you, Laís, very much for your support and for your help. And Laís is going to, as I said, is going to moderate the lecture. So let me talk a little bit about Laís, tell all of you her credentials. Um, she said, Laís Lobo is by nature, as she describes, a teacher at a public school in Bahia. This is the job which she raised her interest in the teaching of English in favor of social change through individual self-emancipation. As a researcher in language teaching, she holds a master's degree in culture, education, and language from the State University of Southwest Bahia. She holds a license in language with a degree in English language and literature from the State University of Bahia. She's also a specialist in clinical and institutional psychopedagogy, and her focus in that area is the process of learning through the challenges that social minorities face. She studied English teaching methodology at the University of Miami, United States, and her prior interest is in education for social change and how to make use of language learning, foreign or second, for that end, whether by engaging it to the self through critical cultural awareness or using it to making social connections that lead to personal growth and human development. So let's welcome Laís Lobo to moderate Daniella's lecture. Thank you and have a good time.
Thank you, Diogenes. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. So today we're going to have another great lecture. We are going to listen to Daniella Corcioli, and we'd like to welcome her with me. Let's talk a little bit about her. Daniella Corcioli has a degree in language with qualification in Portuguese and English from the Federal University of Goiás in 2005. She also has a master's degree in language and linguistics from the Federal University of Goiás also in of 2008, and she holds a doctorate in linguistic studies from the postgraduate program in linguistic studies of the Federal University of Uberlândia. She's currently an effective teacher in the English language area of the language course at Federal Foundation University of Tocantins. She has training and experience in pragmatic identity studies and applied linguistics, with an emphasis on the area of English language teaching education. So please welcome with me, Daniella Corcioli. Thank you very much for sharing with us your knowledge on the topic, language, performativity, and teacher formation.
Thanks a lot, Laís. Thanks for everybody and thanks for the audience. I hope you all are well today. And I'd like to start by talking a little bit more about my work, okay? As a teacher at UFT, as Lais has said, I worked since 2010 at SECLA. That is English teacher formation project, okay? And there we work with teacher formation, and we also teach English to people from UFT in Tocantins and from Porto Nacional, that is a small city there, okay? And to start my, I'm sorry, I have to, yeah, it's okay. To talk about language performativity and teacher formation, I'd like to start with this map, okay, of our route. That is, first of all, we are going to talk a little bit about school and language as content, language as action, and then we are going to talk about pragmatics, truth and meaning, and then we are going to come back to talk about language as action and talking about speech acts and performativity. And at the end, we are going to link things talking about language, performativity, and teacher formation or teacher education. Okay? And as I said, I'm going to start by this. Among many language views or many language concepts, like the social interactionism, the cognitivism, language as communication as a mean of interaction, school seems to have chosen language as a content, okay? That means to say that to be taught inside a school, language had to be somehow and for someone divided into pieces, all right, to be taught in small pieces to students. And of course, today, and because of this, we know that school seems to have chosen the structural view of language, all right, the structural concept of language. Of course, nowadays things has changed, and now mainly because of LDB and PCNs and saying things like that, our official documents, and because of many studies also, we see that things has changed. And nowadays we see the dialogical view from Bakhtin or the critical literacies, all right? It's common today, but it was not in my time, for example, when I studied. And why am I starting my presentation talking about it? It's because our conception of language shapes, guides, and determines our practice inside and outside classrooms, all right? Oh, sorry. Yes. And one of the language conceptions that I'd like to talk about here today is language as action by Austin, 1962. And according to this conception of language, by saying something, we do something. And it's said that saying is a way to act upon reality and other people's life. And because of this, language use is never constative or word description. It's always action. And because of this, we use language with the purpose to change things or act upon reality, all right? Or upon other people and the world. But before talking about it, let's come back here. Yeah, I must see myself. Before talking about it, I'd like to talk a little bit about the study of the language, okay? For example, we have syntax that's worried about the relationship of words inside a sentence, if it's correct or not. And we have semantics that it's worried about the studies of semantic that is worried about meaning and truth and the condition of the truth condition of a sentence, and if it's true or false and it's valid or not, okay? For example, I'll try to explain. For example, if I say the door is closed, it's okay syntactically, right? And it's okay semantically if the door is actually closed, all right? But it can be false if the door is opened. But when we talk about pragmatics, you must consider that the use of this sentence, okay? Because I really would never say this word in by this one, okay? I want when I say this word, I mean something else, all right? For example, and oh, sorry, here. Yes, I made this to show you. For example, if I say the door is closed, I can mean by saying this sentence that it's too hot in here, okay? So the door is closed is an ask for you to open the door, all right? Or I'm just saying that you are safe, nobody's coming, or a thief or a murderer, or things like that. So be okay because the door is closed. Or I can say that I won't be able to enter, so you must give me the keys or you must open the door, please. And or otherwise I can't get out, so open the door, please. Okay. And the other meaning of the sentence is that the baby is safe because he won't get out. This sentence, this specific meaning, the baby safe, is related to me. And I thought about this sentence specifically because I said it happens here in my house. And let me see the way I would explain you. Let me come back to here. Yes. So I have two daughters, Ana Julia, that is 23, and Maria Clara, that is only 2 years old. And sometimes I'm in the kitchen cooking lunch, and then when I'm there, I ask Ana Julia, that is the older one, okay, the older daughter, is the door closed? And then she answers me, Maria Clara is here with me. And what is important about this example? It happens, okay, and it happened really here in my house, and then that's because I'm using this example. And what is important about this? Because semantically talking, it's not acceptable from one sentence that one question, is the door closed, is not acceptable an answer like Maria Clara is here, all right? And the same thing happens also with this. Ana Julia, where is Maria Clara? And then Ana Julia says, the door is closed. Okay, that is the same situation. And why it happens? It's because I know, and Ana Julia knows that it doesn't matter about the door. All right. What am I worried about is about Maria Clara, my baby, if she is safe or not. And this is the pragmatic use of this sentence, all right? Just to say this, the pragmatic sentence, the pragmatic use of this sentence, the door is closed. And also we have a lot of other situations like is your alarm clock broken? When we go to school or to our jobs, and then the boss says, ask us, is your alarm clock broken? In fact, he doesn't want to know about the alarm clock, okay? He wants to say that he knows that you are late, all right? And other sentence that wet floor. It's not important. It is important that the floor is wet. But what they want you to know is that you must be careful. As same as bad dog, and for example, other sentence like it's too cold here or it's too cold. Maybe it's a sun. I want you to lend me a coat, or to close the door, or to turn off the air conditioner, or things like that. Okay. And because of these situations, we must start thinking about truth and meaning, because these things are not by themselves, okay? And meaning is not something that is in the word or in a sentence by itself. It's built, right? We inside a context with specific people that know and interact and use these words. Yes. And now we have the truth about truth. That to consider language as action is to consider a notion of truth different from something that is somewhere waiting to be found. And according to Jean-Baptiste Vico, truth is precisely what is done. And that means that far from being something to be pursued, searched, or observed, truth is something created by man. And so we can say that truth is something we want it to be, or at least it is what is better to believe. Okay, as Professor Hagen said once in his speeches. And truth is so, by saying this, we can conclude that truth is a product of human action. And then we come back to speech acts and performative, or that means language as action from Austin. And when considering this language as action, what must be taken into account is not the truth condition or the meaning of a sentence by itself, but the action performed by the concrete use of language by someone in a specific situation, like me in my house with Ana Julia talking about Maria Clara. And what really matters is the speech act and the effectiveness or the success achieved by someone through the use of some words in a given context with a specific goal under a set of rules, norms, or convention. And then I'd like to quote Ottoni to say that what matters is not what the announcement or the words mean, sorry, it's a mistake here, but its circumstances, strength, power, and uptakes, or the effect. And I'd like to talk a little bit about uptakes, that it's not a common concept, but it means like something that I want to mean by my words, maybe it's not the same thing that the other person understands, okay? But for example, and it's not taken for granted, or it's not, we don't have means to guarantee this, okay? For example, in the situation of the door closed here in my house, I have me, the mother, okay, saying to Ana Julia, take care of the baby. And this caring of the baby includes the door, that the door is closed, okay? And this is the uptake. This is, she knows it because she knows the situation here inside my house, that we have a swimming pool and she can go out and go to the car parking there, and it's dangerous, all right? So because of this, she understands it, and the effect I have is the ones I wanted to. I will come back. I will come to this later. And then I'd like to talk a little bit. Let me in this screen here. Yes, I'd like to talk a little bit about this situation here now. That I'd like you to think that what I'm saying here is not only the words I'm saying. Let's see this way. What I'm saying is not what the words mean here, but these words acquire certain meanings and certain power according to this situation. For example, I'm here from this side of the screen, and this is the second time, right? This is my second live, but I'm here talking to you, and you have some expectation about my speech, all right? And it's given by advance because of the title, okay? And so you have some expectation, and you know that I am a teacher, educator, and you know about my experiences at SECLA, and that's because I was talking about it in the first place in my speech. And can you see the whole situation here contributes to the meaning of all the things I'm talking about? And of course, the uptakes and of course the audience, right? Because nobody is going to have and is going to understand and is going to take what I'm talking about the same way, okay? And it will never be uh, it will never be uh, guaranteed, okay? Let me come back here. Yes. Um, Before I must talk, yes. And if it happens here that this situation causes a kind of power in I can reach something because of this situation. If we imagine our power inside a classroom, I'd like you to think about it. So think about our students there at university, for example. They go there because they want to get okay a degree at teacher formation. So they think we are the responsible for it and that we know everything, and so it makes us like something bigger than we really are, okay? And in that situation there inside the classroom at university, we are the law and we have the power to say what is true and what is wrong and what is the right thing to do. And maybe sometimes they know how to do things but they don't think it's the right thing, the right way, and then they expect that we are going to teach them the right way and expect that there is only one right way, okay, to learn and to teach English. And I put this picture here just to show you the power of the teacher inside the classroom, okay? Mainly inside university. I think it's the place I am, so I can't uh, think about another context. And then we come to the discussion about language performativity and teacher formation. And when I started, as I said in the beginning, it was at SECLA that I started questioning myself about my practices, about things I was doing inside classrooms. And at that time, I saw this question from Selani: what aspects of teacher educators discourses promotes the development of resistance or dependence on the part of teachers on their formation? And because of this, I started my PhD study. And it is very important to think about what are we doing inside classroom, and of course with language, to cause this resistance that sometimes students look at something and say, no, it doesn't work in my classroom, it doesn't work, I don't like it. Or on the other side, some of them feels like they know anything, and everything that they must know is there with us inside the classroom or inside a book or a Bible. Maybe they know that there is a Bible, they think that there is a Bible somewhere, they must find it, okay? And in my studies, what I discovered and what is most important about my studies is that our utterances added to the circumstance in which they occur serve to produce effects, to act upon reality and to other people, to exclude and or to include, to position, and also to create and perform facts and reality. And that means, and that's linked with the vision of language, okay? That language is action. And because of this, our practices as teacher educators need to be focused on the constant examination of how our use of language acts upon the reality and the reality around us. And having said that, I'd like to come back to one of the first questions of in the beginning of my presentation. That is, our conception of language shapes, guides, and determines our practices inside and outside classrooms. And I'd like to say that whether or not we consider language as a structure or a content, and believe me, I'm not saying that it's wrong, okay? Sometimes, mainly in the beginning, we are going to divide language in small pieces to teach one by one, okay, until students have the condition to form a sentence, for example. So it's not wrong. It's not about this, okay? So whether or not we consider as a structure or a content, a set of rules to be divided and learned, or a way to describe things of the world as a means of communication or thought expression, it will always be a way to act upon reality. And that's the most important thing, all right? Not for us only, but for our students mainly. And then coming back to the Celan's question, okay, what aspects of our discourse as teacher educators promote the development of resistance or dependence on the part of teacher educators, or teacher under formation? I'd like to invite you to think about our practices inside classroom, okay? So what are we doing inside classroom? Is it the same everlasting making believe? And once more, I say it's not about saying that it's wrong, and it's not. Okay. Sometimes you are going to say that something is correct and something is not correct. Things like that that we do. It's not about it, but our students know it. Okay. And they know that it's a make believe. Just because we are talking about truth or truths, all right? I'm talking about this later. But when we start a discussion, for example, inside classroom, are we, let me show, yes, here, are we really interested in the practices or the ideas of our students when we start a discussion? And if yes, to what extent? Okay. And how do we consider their opinions? All right. Do we consider them valid or maybe trustable or something like that? Or it's just to make something like an engagement or a warm up for what we are teaching them, right? And this is very important, and they know it. And then we comes to this important question: to teach or not to teach? And of course, we must teach. It's our profession. It's what we do, okay, and what we are paid for. But what I think it's most important is the truth about truth, okay? That is truth or truths, okay? When we talk about this, what's right and what's wrong, because sometimes we dichotomize it, okay? And there is not only one truth, okay? We have truths, and truths have also ID cards, they have nationality, and they were produced under certain conditions with some purpose and intentions, all right? As Hajans always says. And the truth about teaching and about methods and approach were made or created by someone in a specific context under certain situations. And the respect and the popularity of these methods or these approaches comes from plausibility, acceptability, or usefulness. And of course, we have a bit of make believe too, okay? And a bit of money involved and something like this. And just because of this, if it's plausible, if it's acceptable, and if you can use it, it's okay. All right. It's not to say that it doesn't value anything, but it's saying that you can use it the best way without thinking that it is on the Bible and it's the right thing and you must follow it uh, anyway. Okay. So it's not a treasure that has been found far, far away from a gifted theorist, for example. And Having said that, am I all right? Okay. And having said that, I'd like you to keep in mind that to say something is to do something, all right? And because of this, the conception of language as action must be in the region of everything. And after all, there is no free coffee, all right? And that's my price. Thanks a lot. And, sorry, I'd like to show you before this, just some things that I collected just to show you the meanings or the meaning and how the language works inside. Okay, so here we have this situation here. How much do you want to cut the grass? How much do you want to cut the grass? And then the boy says, not much. And then the man, maybe the father, I mean, how much money? And then the boy, I mean, I don't want to cut it. All right. And I don't want to cut it much. And then the baby, it's hard language. And this one I saw yesterday, and it is just to show you how we the truth is what is better to believe. Okay, the truth about something is what is better to believe. Vai no mercado buscar 2 cervejinhas pra gente. Se tiver leite, traz uma caixa. And then tinha leite, but he brought a box of beer, okay, not milk. And this one, I laugh a lot because of this, and I expect you to laugh again with me. Use mouse to open the window and then pull mouse here, all right? That's it. Thanks a lot. Questions, please.
Thank you, Daniela, for your presentation. I was here paying attention on what you were saying, and some things that you were saying reminds me Raja. I was Rajan's student when I was in my master's, and oh my God, how I miss his classes. I remember all that. Language as acts that we used to share with us. And your lecture made me remember also how myself as a teacher have to remember that my students not come empty to the classroom, as they have something to share, and my use of language can contribute to what they are going to do with the knowledge that we share into the classroom. So that was very important. That was very important to me. Thank you a lot for making this moment possible. We don't have any questions yet, but I have some comments. And as we are talking about Rajan, I can see that he's here, and some other teachers.
Yes, I'd like to say this because you were talking about Rajan, and then I'd like to say that because of Rajan, I started studying about hosting
Yes.
and I fell in love with this because this is very important today, and it's always important because in the sense that when we work with prejudices and things like that, okay, in real life, and it's very needed. It's a very needed study today. All right, it's very important, especially
Yes.
for us as teachers.
Yes. Where language is acting in the most important ways, because we need Actually, we need the language to perform our jobs, our use in the classroom. Okay, we already have a question. Let me show you. The question is from Wellington. Can language as an action represent positive as well as negative performances? Is language as an action related to language as a form of power? How is this related to the educational scenario? So it seems to me it's we have three questions here. You can answer them as they were only one, or you can divide them.
I think the most important thing inside this is to show the student that the power of language. Yes, so language is not a way, a kind of power. It's not only this. It is power, right? And inside classroom, it has a huge power. And inside a language classroom, it has a even huge power because we use sometimes and some teachers, and maybe I have done it once or I don't know, but sometimes we use language, we use English language, for example, as a way to act upon our students and to make them do something or stop doing something, right? Let's think about the situation that it happened with me. Our student is presenting a work, a speech in front of us, in front of the whole class, and then we just ask a question like this: Are you sure that this is this? Okay, for example, any question. And this is so powerful that when we ask this question to a student, he doesn't say that yes or no. He say no. It's like this. No, I don't know. It's not me. It's written here, right? They say this, okay? Because this is the power we have inside classroom, okay? It's not because they don't understand that we didn't hear or we would like to know his opinion or things like that, okay? And he knows that he must defend himself by saying that it's not him, okay? And it means that I am nothing here, only the author is able to say what's wrong or not, okay? Just to show an example. And let me see the other positive and as well as negative performance. I didn't understand it, but I will change to the last one. How is this related to educational scenario? This way, we uh, we for example, in that situation, we are the law and we are there to say what is wrong or what is not, what's right and the right way to do things and things like that. So if students know about it, the language power, the power we have, and what we do with this power inside classroom, it would be not that they would be safe. There's no way to be safe, maybe, but it's a way to react. Okay, it's all about reaction, and then we must give this the opportunity to students to react. Because of course, inside the classroom, I am the law because I am the one to give grades. Okay, and they know this, and there is no way to say that it doesn't. Function as a kind of power. It functions as a power. But the thing is, let's discuss this power and let's discuss the reach of all of these. Let's put in the table our this circumstance of this context that is the English classroom. Okay, let's put in the table this and let let students let have them to know how it works inside that context. This is important, I think. This is the most important thing. All right.
Yes, we agree. So mostly we have here lots of uh, thank you. Thank you for this enriching talk. Congratulations. Everyone is saying congrats.
Thanks.
uh, amazing lecture. Congratulations.
Thanks
Many
a lot.
people are saying congrats, and we have already another question. In João Paulo Machado asks, in your opinion, how the language in the performativity theories can change the minority reality?
Ah, yes. Difficult, yes. But it's all about this, okay? When I know that language has this kind of power to act upon me, all right? Because when we talk about something like prejudice, and I say something that is a bad word to someone, for example, people used to say, no, it's just words, all right? Don't care, it's just words. And it's not just words, it acts upon these people, okay? It acts and it makes these people, this person feels bad and feels depressive and feels something that because she doesn't know how language is used to do this. And if we start, and that's because of course we started doing that thing of how can I say that? Politicamente correto, yes? It is a kind of knowing that knowing the word power, the power of the words, all right? And if people know and start dealing with this, I think they would react more because they know that it's not just words, okay? They must react because it is an action, all right? So you must react to words also because words are actions, okay? So you don't have only to, oh, come on, let's go
Awesome.
on.
Awesome. We have a comment. Uh, it was awesome. And a comment from Christina Elu. We teachers or professors act as gatekeepers according to Hilary Jenks, 2010.
Hmm. I don't know Hillary Jenks. I can't comment this. Sorry.
Okay. Nice speech. Domingos Sábio Pimentel Siqueira, well done, Daniela. Thank you so much for the inspiring talk. And I think we don't have any more questions, so I would like to invite Savio is saying that Hillary works in South Africa.
South Africa. Mm.
Maybe it's an opportunity for us to make a research.
Maybe it's about. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe it is about yes, and now this makes sense with me because of South Africa, because of apartheid and things like that. But maybe he said that gatekeepers is about keeping our students inside a bubble, yes, inside something that in that place we can control them and we can say what's wrong, because saying what's wrong and what's right and having this power to say what's wrong, what's right is a way to keep them, okay, in our hands, all right? So if I am the person that knows the truth and knows what's wrong and what's right and the right way to teach, for example, to teach English, they will depend on me, okay? And they will want go away, or they won't do things by themselves because all they need is here in my hand, is here with me. Yes, this is very good.
Mhm. So, thank you one more time. And now we have Professor Diogenes to close this evening.
Okay.
Just one more second because we have one more information about uh, her. Her research encompasses critical awareness for those who are interested. And James defends the pedagogy of reconstruction, considering design among other critical research areas. So, for those who are interested, you can do a research about this. And we have Diogenes, we have
Hi, Silvana.
Gus from Talking Cheese. Okay?
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks a lot, Silvana. I'm glad that you were here, participate in this project. Okay, we miss you a lot too. Daniela, thank you very much for your very nice lecture and for sharing with us with your expertise. Okay, and thanks everybody for being here with us this evening. I'd like to remind you to please fill out the form, and otherwise you won't receive your certificate. Okay, and you also have to participate in at least 4 lectures in order to have the your certificate. And Go ahead.
4 hours, 4 hours, 2 lectures.
4 hours, yes, 4 hours. Yeah, that's true. Not 4 lectures, but 4 hours altogether. Thank you, Lais. And our next lecture is going to be on September the 14th. Okay, which is going to be next Monday. And it's going to be delivered by Robson Ribeiro da Silva. He's a PhD student at the Universidade Federal de Santa Catarina, and Robson is a polyglot. You know, he speaks several languages, of course. This is a polyglot, and he's be going to talking about musical aptitude and pronunciation skills. Is there a relationship? He's also a musician. You know, he's a singer. He's very talented. So please, let's welcome next week, September the 14th, Hobson. Hobson is also a former student of us, as I said. You know, he holds a master's, and Savi was his advisor at UFBA. Okay, so Daniela, thank you very much once again. Okay, and thank you all for being here with us this evening, and we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
I'd like to say you thank you very much for this opportunity to talk about my work, my research, my studies. Okay, Professor and Lais, thanks a lot. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.